Say that again?
I'm from South London. You know Wimbledon?
Wilmington. Yeah, I know Wimbledon. Yeah. South London. Okay. Yes,
Near the
yes.
tennis. Yeah.
Well, I'm ready when you are, whenever to start. Let's get things going and whatnot. And I'm ready to get rolling.
Absolutely, I'm ready too. So we'll be on in 3. This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. Delighted to be joined via Skype with former WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Oliver McCall. Oliver, firstly, how are you doing and what part of America are you in right now?
Well, first of all, I want to say hi to everyone. I'm doing fine. I'm in Corpus Christi, Texas. Corpus Christi, Texas. I've been here for about 3 years, since June the 15th of 2017. I moved here from Chicago.
What's the current situation in Texas like? We know the world's going through a crisis really right now. Oliver, how are you keeping?
Well, everything is going pretty good. Of course, we had some restrictions like everyone else in the United States, and staying 6 feet apart, things like that. And it was kind of paralyzing to a certain point to all the people, because we used to going out, having fun, going to the ocean and doing things like that. But we didn't get accustomed to the change a bit, and it's going pretty good. Everybody's looking forward to coming back to the normalcy a little bit if they come back to that.
Oliver, I'm sure you've been asked this question so many times thus far in your life, but I will have to talk to you about the night you stunned the world against Lennox Lewis. What do you remember about throwing that right hand and finishing Lennox that night? What goes through your memory when I bring that up, Oliver?
Well, one of the main things that go through my memory, I had a sparring partner. He passed. His name was John Morton, Big John Morton from Louisville, Kentucky. I fought him in the amateurs. I think my 10th or 11th amateur fight. I ended up winning, and he ended up becoming my sparring partner when I became champion. And he was one of my best sparring partners as far as being close to me. He would run with me in the morning and stuff like that when I was in Mexico training for the fight. Just speaking of him, he got shot selling tires. He got killed. The memories go back. It's real. It's impeccable. It's really impeccable. To think about that. But every time I throw a right hand and I hit a guy and I knock him down, I say that's the right hand. That's what I'm gonna knock out Lennox Lewis with. And I say get the next sparring partner get in. So I've done that several times in my training for Lennox Lewis, knowing that he telegraphs his right hand, and I have a quicker straight right hand. And my fight style, as far as coming forward, I come straight forward at times. That has changed now because I'm an older fighter. I used to just bull in forward, and I likes to fight. And so that straight right hand, it was impeccable. I knew it was coming that second round, and it was right on time.
What was your attitude going into that fight with Lennox, the first fight, Oliver?
Well, first of all, I was excited to be there. Two of my comrades that I had trained with over the years, Jesse Ferguson and Bert Cooper, had both fought for the world title. Both of them was close friends of mine. I knew them. Of course, I fought Jesse Ferguson. I was sitting there playing cards with Jesse Ferguson when we got the call for him to fight me. He hung up the phone and said, "Oliver, guess who they want me to fight?" I said, "Who?" Jesse Ferguson said, "Oliver, they want me to fight you." And we continued to play cards. And after we got up, the next time I seen him was across the ring right after I knocked out Bruce Seldon. So the fight brings back a lot of memories with Lennox Lewis with the right hand and just the things that was going on. He had just beat Jackson. Phil Jackson, if I'm not mistaken. He just knocked out Phil Jackson. So I was excited about it. And everything went as planned. Emanuel Steward was great. Emanuel Steward was great. He was my dream, always was my dream trainer. I met Emanuel Steward with Leroy Murphy. Leroy Murphy he was a gold medal winner and cruiserweight champion of the world. He took me to Detroit, Michigan when I was an amateur. I was an amateur fighter. And I went to Detroit, Michigan, and that's when I first met Emanuel Steward. I remember driving back with Leroy Murphy, and I said, "Leroy," I said, if Emanuel Steward was my trainer, I said I'd be heavyweight champion of the world. Not knowing 10 years later, he became my trainer and we got it done. So it was just an awesome. The whole scene just was awesome.
I was gonna ask you about the late great Emanuel Steward. Everyone I talked to who's worked with him just has nothing but praise for him, and he worked with so many heavyweight champions, and just the fighters that he worked with, it speaks volumes about the trainer he was, Oliver.
Yes, and I'm honored. I am definitely honored to have Emanuel Steward as my trainer, as a trainer. I got to know him personally, of course, and everything. And I was blessed to talk to him several months right before he passed in Chicago. We was at a restaurant, and I didn't know he was that sick. And we was in the restaurant. He went to the bar, and I walked to the bar with him, and he started to glare and just started to talk about some things. And I was like, well, that's over with now. We won the belt and everything. You still was another trainer of his world champion, and everything was great. But I could tell there was something was going on, and it was a couple of months when he passed after that.
Oliver, out of the current heavyweights, we've got your likes of Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. Do you watch much of them? Have you seen much of them, Oliver?
Yes, I watch them a lot. I watch, of course, the second Fury fight often. Every now and then I turn it on. I was a Wilder fan. I was rooting for Wilder. Although me myself, I like Wilder as a fighter, and I sure was rooting for him. I remember going to the gym. I trained that day. And in the gym, when I was training, I looked at everybody in the gym. I said, well, who are the Fury fans? And some people was like, okay. I said, what are Wilder fans? And some people rolled up their arms. I'm like, yeah, I'm for Wilder. So I was pretty adamant and open about it and want Wilder to win. Tyson Fury challenged my son to fight my son about 10 years ago. And I said, fight me. And Tyson Fury, of course, they turned me down. And I was kind of upset. I was like, well, why you want to fight my son? And my son, he never had no amateur experience, really. And they was trying to use my son. And I said, you know what? I said, fight me. So they wouldn't fight me. My son ended up fighting Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz knocked out my son. I wish they could show that fight on TV. My son really gave Andy Ruiz a fight. I mean, I think that they'd be amazed if they seen my son. Although he got knocked out, Andy Ruiz gonna do his thing. But he gave Andrew Ruiz a go for his money. And but everything else going great.
I was going to come on to Andy Ruiz. Much like you shocked the world against Lennox Lewis, Andy Ruiz shocked the world against Anthony Joshua. Of course, Joshua got his revenge in the rematch. But yeah, what did you make of Andy Ruiz in the first fight, knocking out Anthony Joshua at Madison Square Garden?
Well, it really showed me. I was for Joshua. I was rooting for Joshua, of course. I was rooting for Joshua, I guess, because Andy Ruiz knocked out my son. That's a personal thing. But I was rooting for Joshua, and I am definitely a big Joshua fan. Matter of fact, personally, I had Joshua to be the favorite out of the three heavyweights, out of Wilder, Fury, and Joshua. I had Joshua up at top at that point. Andy Ruiz, I knew that he was very dangerous, but I thought that Joshua would keep him off with his long reach, and Joshua do got a nice, strong jab. But unfortunately, Andy Ruiz was able to get in there, and once he got in there, he's fast with his hands and was able to hit Joshua with some combinations. And at that weight, 250-something pounds, hey, you got power. If you know how to, you got speed, he got accuracy, and he was hitting Joshua. And I don't care how big and strong he is, you hit that head, hit that nugget, you're going to get some responses.
We saw Andy Ruiz's life completely changed after that night he beat Anthony Joshua. How did your night change? Your life changed the night you beat Lennox Lewis, Oliver?
Wow, it changed in a couple of dramatic ways. Of course, it changed as far as my perception, as far as achievement in life. I wanted to become heavyweight champion of the world when I was 20 years old. I remember telling my wife at that time, Alethea, I'm going to become heavyweight champion of the world before I become 30 years old. And when I was on my 29th birthday, I was in Las Vegas and at the Chavez and Frankie Randall fight. When Frankie Randall knocked out Chavez, and I was 29 years old going into that fight with them fighting there. And I say, the day I'm 29, I say, I'm going to be hit. Today my birthday. They say, Oliver, why you keep saying the day your birthday? I say, because I'm 29. I said, I'm going to become heavyweight champion of the world. And they looked at me real funny. But once I signed the contract to fight Lennox, everything was then more or less preparation for what I had said and what I believed. Once I start to prep and get myself together for what I said and what I believed, the night before the fight, as I was playing cards with my family, and Don King came in the room and said, "What you doing up this late?" I said, "Well, I'm fighting. We're going to be fighting around this time, so I'm just being up," because it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. And that's the time we was going to actually fight in Wembley. And I said, "You just get ready to pick out my car after this fight because I'm going to win the fight." My family ended up leaving out the room right after that because Don King, of course, wanted them to leave out immediately. As they left out, that next day in the dressing room, I was like, "Well, I'm going to get my car, this, that." I said, "All right, let's go ahead and let's do it." So my mind was pretty set off what I said and what I felt in my heart. And once I put my mind to it and start to prepare and prep for it, I felt and knew that I was ready. From throwing them right hands and knocking them guys out with that straight, the same punch that I knocked out Lennox Lewis with. And things just worked out great for me that night. It really did. It really did. So it was dramatic.
Talking about Don King, obviously he was struggling at the time before that fight with Lennox Lewis. And then, you became world champion, and then he pushed on again in his career, Don King. And I remember the scenes and the emotions in that ring that night. As soon as he knocked Lennox out, Don King jumping in, everyone jumping in. I think you were screaming, "I told you so, I told you so," to the cameras. The emotions that night were incredible.
Yeah, but with the emotions, there was things that I didn't understand that was taken advantage of me as my career progressed. That everyone that jumped in the ring wasn't on the same agenda that night. As as far as Don King and some of the other individuals that jumped in that ring when I became champion, it was already set in mind for me to lose that belt. Basically, Don had done a lot of talking with the promoters over there in London, and they had a scheme going already, not just with that one fight, but with many fights. And that started, I know from past experience, that started, I think, with Mike McCallum. When Mike McCallum went over there, which Emanuel Steward was training Gerald McCallum, not Mike McCallum, Gerald McCallum. When Gerald McCallum went over there and fought Don King, and Emanuel Steward was just going through some things, and I remember Emanuel Steward got rid of Gerald McCallum. They kind of separated. As soon as they separated, Don ended up hooking up Emanuel Steward with me. I realized that they was in the corner when I had beat Francis Damiani. As I looked at the videos, I looked at it one day and I saw Don King and Emanuel Steward out there pointing at me, discussing my fight with Francisco Damiani. When I knocked out Francisco Damiani and became the #1 contender, they had some sneaky things in plan already. Once I won the title, it was very imperative that I lose the title because they wanted Mike Tyson. Don King wanted Mike Tyson as a fighter to promote because he was the biggest draw, but Tyson was in prison. They did not want, he knew more or less he wasn't going to have a chance to make that big money with Mike Tyson, with me, with the WBC title. So they conjured up a plan or whatnot for me to fight Bruno. So the Bruno fight was the fight that really took place. That a lot of things happened in that fight, that shouldn't have happened. And Don orchestrated as far as preparation for that fight for me to lose to Frank Bruno. All Frank Bruno had to do was survive the fight. I mean, literally survive the fight. And that's basically what he done to a certain extent. If you look at the Bruno fight with me, if a lot of people really look at the Bruno fight, when I fought Bruno, it was a lot of unjust things done as far as him holding continuously. and don't get me wrong, Bruno, I really admire Bruno. Bruno, one of the first guys when I first left out of the United States, I was Frank Bruno's sparring partner in London. So I got to know Frank Bruno a little bit, and he's a good guy. I mean, a real cool guy. And I can say that also for Lennox Lewis, because I didn't met him and talked with him on several occasions since the last outing. We were pretty cool. We sat, had dinner, ate, and had fun, talked and joked and everything like that. But there were some political things and some things that was happening behind the scenes as far as the promoters concerned to get Mike Tyson. And Don King had that WBC belt with me winning from Lennox Lewis. Now he had to get a hold of Mike Tyson. So a lot of stuff went on during that part of my career and extended off to a lot of people getting paid under the table and doing things that was against the law.
Oliver, we know about the legal issues that you've touched upon there just now. You had outside the ring. How much did that hold you back in your career, Oliver?
Of course, it held me back a lot. It held me back a lot. It's some things that I've done that, of course, if I could do it over and had the opportunity to do it over, I would do it different. And on that, I have to stop and just say and just thank God. I thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for forgiveness and giving me an opportunity and chance to continue on with my life, period. Boxing or no boxing. If I wasn't boxing, I'm definitely grateful for my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ that I can mush down and forget those things, because a lot of things you have to forget because people will try to bring them up until you die, until you're dead. And if you can't let certain things go and learn how to say, okay, right or wrong, some of them I was right, some of them I was wrong. But being able to let things go and continue on with your life is very important. I don't care who you is, how much money you got, or what you're going through, and that's very important.
Oliver, I think it was this time last year you fought. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes. I think it's about a year. I fought about a year. I went through a couple of things since then. 2012, I was about to fight in Connecticut, and I was supposed to get on a plane to fight this guy. And as I was getting ready to get on the plane, all of a sudden they canceled the flight and said, Oliver, you can't fight. I was like, why? What's going on? Oh, you failed a test. I said, what test? And it was some type of test they said I failed. I said, they waited right to the day I got on the plane and saw I was going to get on the plane that I was ready for this fight. And now they're going to talk about I didn't pass the physical. This was 2012. I was basically banned to fight in the United States from 2012 until 2017. So I fought in Poland. First time I fought in Poland, I fought right. My mom needed someone to take care of her. So I remember fighting that fight, and I lost that fight at 8-day notice. 8-day notice. I flew to Poland and fought because I needed money. And I needed somebody to take care of my mom. My mom was like 77, 78 years old. And after I won the fight, after I lost the fight, I came back to Martinsville, Virginia, and I went and got my mom. And I thank God for that too, because I was blessed to be with my mom the last year of her life. I took care of my mom, and we lived together for a whole year in Racine, Wisconsin, until she passed. But I couldn't fight. Even then, I couldn't fight in the United States. I couldn't fight. So my mom was like, I was taking care of my mom, but my mom was literally kind of taking care of me. She really was. But I would look out for my mom, but my mom would look out for me. And I'm the youngest of the family. So when my mom passed, it was time, I was like, well, what I'm going to do now? I still want to fight. I want to train fighters. So I ended up coming down to Corpus Christi to train fighters. 2017, June the 15th. I came down here to train fighters. Then the fighters that I was training wasn't really picking up nothing much. So I was like, wait up, I got to show y'all that what I could teach you do work. I said, I'm going to fight. I said, I can fight you. I'm going to fight and show y'all that this works. So as that went by, we needed an opponent. So I told my manager, I said, we need an opponent. So they said, who around here in Corpus Christi, we need somebody who could fight. So then this name came up, Ron Guerrero. So I was like, okay. They said, yeah, he's a fighter and he done fought for former champions and this and that. I said, okay, let's go. I said, I'm gonna show y'all that this really worked. So me and Ron Guerrero, they made a big poster of me and Ron Guerrero gonna fight and everything. And I was excited because I said, wait up, I just want to show y'all one fight that how this works. And then I could train fighters. And I want to train y'all and show y'all that this works. So the fight never did go off with me and Ron Guerrero. Things just didn't go off. So then another opponent came up named Justin Jones. He was undefeated. So me and Justin Jones was going to fight. So everything was going to, well, I'm finna show him. I'm going to show y'all with an undefeated fighter. So some things happened with the Justin Jones fight and it didn't happen. So I'm like, something ain't right. So then about a year, I was here for about a year in Corpus Christi, Texas. And so now I heard about Guerrero and I heard he was a cool dude. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go over here. I said, because this was the guy I posted for. And Justin Jones' dad had passed. And I said, I ain't going to want to fight Justin Jones. His father just passed. And I just can't do that. And they say, well, still Oliver. I said, I ain't going to fight him. Lo and behold, when I met these guys, these were such awesome guys. Ron Guerrero had his own gym. He had kids around there training them, and it was just awesome to see. And it really, excuse my emotion, it really touched me because it was something that I always wanted to do, and never had an opportunity and chance to do that. So I ended up going to the gym from time to time with Ron Guerrero's. And so Ron said, he said, I'm gonna fight, I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna come on back. So as I was going to the gym, I ended up, hanging out with Guerrero, and next, I was telling him a couple of things, and the next thing we clicked, and it was just awesome. I go to the gym, I train there, and I said, man, you got it. Well, you can still fight, you can still do this and do that. So, and then I ended up meeting Justin Jones. So when I met Justin, I gave my condolences about his father at first because that was always on my mind. And I looked at him. I said, man, don't you know they wanted us to fight? And he said, yeah, man, and we became great friends. He come pick me up just about every day. We go to train. We trained yesterday. We train, and he have a son, and a lovely son. His wife work at the hospital. She's a nurse, so she's working with those corona patients. And it's just an awesome thing. But since then, these two guys have really stepped up. I mean, Ron Guerrero and they stepped up. They stepped up. And Ron really amazed me because when I went to the fight with him in Houston, he fought for the ABF title. And this dude, he listened to the instruction. I never, out of all my fights I ever been to, I ever participated in, this specific fight, this guy done everything. When I say throw to the left, when I say throw to the body, he took perfect, and he won it. And when he won that belt, it was like I became champion again. It was just that awesome. So right now, me, Justin, and Ron, well, we kind of come together and we train and we share ideas, and I pushes them, and they actually help pushes me in this time of my career too. At one time, I was ranked number 16. I don't know where Guerrero was ranked in the United States as far as the best heavyweights in the United States. Now, since Guerrero won, I'm ranked number 8, and Ron Guerrero is ranked number 6. And that right there was just, it's just mind-blowing to me. I know a lot of people might say, well, that ain't much. To me, it's just so awesome the way that happened and the way it came about. These are two guys that I'm training now that I would have been fighting. I would have been fighting these guys. Now these guys, one time a guy came and an individual said, Oliver, would you fight Ron Guerrero? Come on, man. I said, it ain't no way. That's out of the question. It ain't no way I can fight Justin. It ain't no way. The bond and the relationship that I got with these guys has surpassed any type of violence or conflict or even competition. And right now, Ron Guerrero is ranked number 6, and I'm ranked number 8, the best heavyweights in the United States. And so after this pandemic, and hopefully once things go by, we're training to really take it up to another step, to get another title. Ron definitely want another title. He told his dad just passed. He told his dad that he was going to win a title. And I thank God that I was a part of him winning that title. Ron Guerrero and Justin Jones, we looking for a fight. And we was thinking about wanting to challenge Tyson with him first, because I don't think Tyson gonna want to get in there with me. I can tell you that now. Mike Tyson, now you talking about wanting to come back, but I don't think he want Oliver McCall.
Let me ask you about this, Oliver. Obviously, your former sparring partner, Mike Tyson, looks like he's set to make a return. I think it's touted for an exhibition fight. Holyfield is rumored to be coming back as well. If that fight was offered to you, Oliver, I'm sure you'd take it in a heartbeat, but you believe Mike doesn't want to fight you, Oliver?
Well, I don't believe Mike want to fight me. I don't believe Mike want to. The reason why I don't believe Mike want to fight me, go back to the Bruno fight. See, we should have been fighting there. Holyfield, I've been talking with Holyfield, because I've been down there with Holyfield since I've been here in Corpus Christi. I've been down there with Holyfield a couple of times and was able to talk with him and Big Riddick Bowe. I was actually helping Riddick Bowe a little bit get himself in shape, because they were seeing me spar around there at the gym, Holyfield and Riddick Bowe, and they was like, Oliver, you still got it, this and that and that and that. Now, I did ask Holyfield, I was like, man, yeah, man, you should go ahead. And Holyfield looked at me like, man, I ain't gonna be boxing. But now I guess he changed his mind, and sometimes money will change your mind. Or, I really admire Holyfield. That's my brother in Christ. Holyfield, my dude. I couldn't never see me really fighting him. I really don't want to fight him. I don't. But it's at a point now. I saw a thing with James Toney, because he's talking about fighting. And James Toney is a cool dude, good friend of mine too. I like James Toney. But it would be good to get a Super 6 going. A Super 6. I got a promoter. His name is Erskine Johnson. And he's promoting me now and finna put some things together. We all in putting some stuff together where we can go to these guys and see if we could put some things together where we can have a fight off between the older heavyweight champions and see who come out. And the winner might get a shot at the real title again. That would be awesome.
Wow. So who would be potentially in that Super 6? Yourself, Evander, Mike Tyson, and then what, a shot at a world heavyweight?
James Toney. One of the Klitschko'S might want to get in it. Okay. I mean, that's gonna be a real good one. One of the Klitschko'S, we got to come on. David Haye, my dude. David Haye's my dude. David Haye got the good on it. Come on, David Haye. Got to get some. I mean, we get a mixture, but we'll all be seasoned veterans that had world champions that been there, done that, and want to see it one more time or get close to it. So it'll be awesome. I believe the fan base is ready for it. I don't think it'll be fair for one Pacific fighter, whether it be Tyson, Holyfield, Lennox Lewis. He might want to come back in it too. But what I'm saying, I think it'll be unfair for one Pacific heavyweight champion like a Holyfield or Tyson or Lennox Lewis, let's pick one of them three, to just hog up it all and say, well, I'm just going to corner and I'm going to do my thing. No. We have to respect each other as champions. And of course, some champions are more uplifted as far as honor and what they have achieved than others. And that's okay. They achieved their accomplishments. So the Mike Tysons and the Holyfields and the Lennox Lewis and the Larry Holmes should be, of course, respected. They say, hey, they come on now. These are legends. But I still think that it should be spread it out amongst the fighters that has been there and done that. And let's see, we can have some fun and bring some sports-like stuff to the people.
Just lastly, before we end, have you got a message to Mike Tyson, Oliver?
Well, my only message to Mike Tyson is, man, I just hope he really just know what he's doing and be in good health. I learned a lot from Mike Tyson. Lord knows I learned a lot sparring with Mike Tyson in his camp than in any camp I ever been in. Not just from Mike Tyson either, from Kevin Rooney and all the other guys that was there in Tyson's camp.
Burt Cooper.
Camp. Right. So say that again.
Sparring Burt Cooper as well. You've obviously sparred him before.
Exactly, Burt Cooper. And one thing, Burt Cooper, I just want to give my condolences out to Burt Cooper's family. I got to know Burt Cooper very well, and when I heard about his passing, that really touched me there. That really touched me there. So Burt Cooper and of course Smoking Joe Frazier, because I met both of those individuals at the same time, and of course Smoking Joe Frazier was my trainer for when I fought Al Evans in Chicago, and so I just miss those guys.
Oliver McCall, former WBC champion of the world, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV. Stay safe in Texas, and hopefully we catch up soon. Okay, Oliver?
Yeah, I'll be seeing you around.
Definitely. God bless. Thank you.
God bless. All right.